3. 7-12 This was probably done partly because of the tendency toward idleness that some there had. During his stay there Paul received from the brothers in Philippi 2 different gifts supplying things he needed. php 4. 16. In time those Thessalonian Jews that rejected Paul's message rounded up a mob of idlers from the marketplace and assaulted the house of Jason where Paul was staying. But when they learned that the object of their search was not there, they dragged Jason and other believers off to the city rulers, that is, the politarchs, according to the literal Greek. Acts 17. 5-9. It is of special interest that inscriptions from that period have been found in and about Thessalonica that refer to certain of their local officials as politarchs. For safety's sake, Paul and Silas were sent away at night to Berea by the Thessalonian brothers. There Paul found the Bereans more noble-minded than those in Thessalonica, in that they not only received the word with great eagerness, but also carefully examined the scriptures daily as to whether what the apostle said was so. Soon, however, trouble developed when opposing Jews arrived from Thessalonica and stirred up a mob. O textoi acute miritra longo, Thi 1093 Thudas 3rd. A rebel who started an insurrection with a following of about 400 men sometime before 6 CE by using this Thudas as his first example of a movement that caused no more trouble after its leader was put to death. The Pharisee Gamaliel persuaded the Sanhedrin not to bother the youthful Christian congregation so soon after Jesus' death. Act 5. 34-40. Thief. One who deliberately takes that which belongs to another without permission, especially one who practices fraud and deception or who steals secretly. The ways of thieves were much the same in the past as today. They came to steal usually at night. Job 24. 14. Jah 49. 9. Mount 24. 43. Lu 12. 39. Joe 10. 10. 1th 5. 2-5. 2p3. 10. Re 3. 3. 16. 15, and one of their common entrances was through a window. Joe 2. 9 On the other hand, robbers and highwaymen lay in wait and fell upon their victims in lonely areas, where it was virtually impossible to get help. Often they did not hesitate to use violence or to threaten and endanger the lives of those whose valuables they seized. JG 9. 25. Lu 10. 30, 36. 2 Co 11. 26. The original language terms rendered rob and robber can also refer to withholding from another what is rightfully his, or getting things from others by fraudulent means, or by appropriating to one's own use that which one was obligated to give to others. By failing to pay tithes for the support of true worship at the temple, the Jews of Malachi's time were robbing God. Mal 3. 8, 9 Proverbs 28. 24 speaks of a man robbing his father or his mother, evidently meaning depriving his parents in some way of what was rightfully theirs. Jesus Christ condemned the money changers for having made the temple into a cave of robbers. This suggests that the money changers were charging exorbitant fees for their services. Mount 21. 12, 13. In his second letter to the Corinthians, the Apostle Paul wrote, "Other congregations I robbed by accepting provisions in order to minister to you." 2 Co 11. 8 There was nothing fraudulent about Paul's receiving provisions from others. But evidently he spoke as though he had robbed those congregations in the sense of having used what he had received from them to supply his needs while laboring, not with them, but in behalf of the Corinthians. In some cases, stealing may refer to the justified act of taking what one has a right to take, the emphasis being on the stealthy manner in which the act is executed. For example, Israelites stole the body of Saul from the public square of Bethshan. 2 Sa 21. 12 The aunt of young Jehosh saved his life by stealing him away from among his brothers, who were killed by wicked Athaliah. 2 K 11. 1, 2. 2 Ch 22. 11. Condemned by God. Most of the biblical references to stealing, however, pertain to the unlawful taking of what belongs to someone else. Jehovah's law to Israel explicitly stated, "You must not steal." Acts 20. 15. 19. 11, 13. De 5. 19. Mount 19. 18. A thief had to make twofold, fourfold, or as much as fivefold compensation, depending upon what the law outlined. If he could not do so, he was sold into slavery, evidently regaining his freedom upon making full compensation. X 22. 1-12. In addition to making compensation, the disgraced thief J2. 26 was to bring a guilt offering and have the priest make atonement for his sins. The 6. 2-7. Eventually the nation of Israel came to disregard these laws, and as a consequence, Jehovah allowed robbers and thieves from within and from without to plague the nation. De 28. 29, 31. Es 7. 22. Fraudulent practices, especially the oppression of poor and needy persons, became common. Issa 1. 23. 3. 14. J 7. 9-10.